Welcome to Teamrocketgarage. Now today we've got something wonderful. We've got something beautiful and it's part of my soul. I am the Lincoln Towncar person. I love Lincoln Towncars. The luxury, the old school body on frame, and the modern-ish handling. Now right here you can see my 2011 Lincoln Towncar. It's new to me, but this is the nicest Lincoln Towncar I could find within 500 miles, and I had to jump on it. But in order to make my dreams come true, I had to go one step further. And in order to go a step further, we need to go a step further with what's under the hood. Now, this might look like your ordinary black sheep premium taxi from the airport, but what we're about to do is change it and its legacy and my legacy for the duration of all of time. We're about to make history here, folks. We're going to use ADTR Supercharger Kit to double the wheel horsepower of this car with a simple install and tune. With that, I'm going to show you just how do you supercharge a Lincoln Towncar. And also, if you're interested and you're in the Salt Lake City area, I'm going to put some details right here for a car meet that I'm going to be at tonight, handing out free Teamrocketgarage stickers. So if you catch me there, let me know and I'll be happy to throw a Teamrocketgarage YouTube sticker on your car free of charge. That being said, let's go ahead and hop into this. If you like stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe. And comment below what you think we should do next to my new 2011 Lincoln Towncar.
Before you do anything, you want to disconnect that negative battery halo. Then remove all components between the throttle body and air filter, including the air filter box. On the bottom driver's side of the radiator is the petcock. It's an acrylic nut that you can unscrew and it'll drain the radiator. Remove the fan shroud and coolant reservoir, and remove the front plastic radiator core support cover. Finally, remove the drive belt and idler pulley and set those aside. While you've got that upper radiator hose off, go ahead and install a 180-degree thermostat. At this point, you can go ahead and move that power steering fluid reservoir from the fan shroud, and you can put that aside. It's easy to put it behind the radiator hose. Just keep it upright so it doesn't spill. If I could have done anything different, I think I would have installed the intercooler at this point, since the car was already lifted up and drained. The intercooler install is pretty straightforward with ADTR's kit. However, I'll show you more about that when I actually install the intercooler in this video. It's much easier to work on a car when it's on the ground rather than standing and reaching so far. So let's drop this thing down and get to the fuel injectors.
So I found a reason to slow down. Make sure you're looking at everything. First off, we've got a valve cover leak down here. So should probably address that. And then secondly, look at the front of the radiator. Look at that. That's all like just a spot of the radiator that just can't cool stuff. Look at that. Disgusting. Gosh. Let me get a brush out or something. I'm not sure. Alright, so this is why every step you take, you spray things out. Look disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. And also on these 4.6s, you want to be careful because these intakes have a habit of leaking, but those stains are from gas. So from removing that fuel rail, it's all stained up over here too. But look at all this gunk in here. Yeah, we want that stuff gone skis, my guy.
For 30 days. Just ask Alexa to try Amazon Music Unlimited. Renews automatically, cancel anytime.
Go ahead and disconnect all of the fuel injector wiring clips. Be careful, these are brittle on some cars. You're going to want to release any fuel pressure by pressing on that Schrader valve. This car didn't have one, so we just had to make a mess. You'll go ahead and remove the bolts holding down the factory fuel rail on that intake manifold, and that crash bar on the back of the driver's side really sucks. It's a 15mm on the back, and if you have a press or a way to do it, you can bend the closed end of a 15mm wrench to be more straight, and that'll make it easier to get to. If you order this kit from ADTR, it comes with Deechworks fuel injectors, and they come with some lubrication. Go ahead and put that grease on the O-rings and stick them in the holes. This is also a great time to do your spark plugs if you haven't already. On these Crown Victorias and Panther cars, it's possible to strip out the threads in the spark plug hole. So while you're working on those fuel injectors, go ahead and spray some Deep Creep or PB Blaster down in the spark plug hole to help loosen those threads up.
There's our spark plug. It is a Motorcraft Platinum, so might be the factory, but it is gapped at 0.75. Oh, nope, okay. Yeah, about 0.75, 0.76. So suffice to say, those might have 160,000 miles on them.
Now, if you do the spark plugs, ADTR will recommend a Motorcraft 32C spark plug, but my tuner recommended the NGK TR6 spark plug, so I used those instead. All 8 of them were about $36 at my local AutoZone. Now, the fuel pump on these cars is pretty tough to get to because the tank generally needs to be dropped. It can be done without dropping the tank though, as long as you're low on fuel. Under a third or a quarter of a tank to be safe. Now, when I installed this, I just lifted the car up, placed it on jack stands, and used a ratchet with an 8mm socket on there and undid all 6 of the bolts holding the fuel pump in. You can pull it out of the way, but just be careful. There's one wire that won't disconnect, or I don't know where the plug is, and another plug that goes above the frame but below the floor of the car. So make sure you look above and find that. You can unplug it, and that makes it way easier to get to.
We're realizing that putting the overflow right here, where I'm pointing at, you've got this, which actually is supposed to go like right there, like that, but all the other Panthers have this sprayer reservoir over there, but this car can't have that because of this, the air pump. So that's for the air ride suspension, and I intend on keeping that. So we're going to have to remove this guy and figure out where to put it. We might have to get an aftermarket or different one. Maybe it can go over there. Maybe I can use like some of the mounting, I don't know, but for now we're gonna lose sprayer, which is lame because I use them a lot.
The installation on most of these cars will be pretty straightforward for the following part, but we need to install the coolant reservoir over on the passenger side wheel well. My car, because it has air suspension in the rear, has a pump where the standard washer fluid reservoir goes. So in my case, I had to remove my washer fluid reservoir, and I'll add another one of those later.
Fan setup for the ADTR Supercharger Kit. This fan, I'll link it in the description as well if you want to buy it independently. I think it's from Mustang, but I'll link it down there, like the AutoZone link or the part number. So this fan right here, this is what comes with the kit. And so this fan goes on here somehow. There we go. And then you've got this guy, and then it sets down. So you've got this acrylic, or no, aluminum spacer right here, and then you pound this in, and that maintains the fan on the motor. So use a screwdriver. You can see my scratch marks right there. You pop those off. We'll set those aside right here. We're going to take this fan off. What we need is this housing supercharger application. Sorry, it's dirty. Next up, you're going to remove 3 10mm screws. They just screw into the plastic right here. Set those aside, and then we can remove our motor here. Yep, I don't think we use that. So we've got our 3 screws, and this is our housing that we're going to use here for the town car here. So we'll take this apart because the town car has a fan controller on it, and so do many Panthers, I think. So we will undo these. This is the kind of mess that we've got here on the Panther one here. We've just got holes that just go all the way through, and then we connect to this fan controller here. On this one, it actually screws into the plastic, so we need to drill holes in the plastic here, and there's reinforcements there, and then we should be able to use these nuts to screw it right into the same position here. So I figured it out. I had to really like drill these guys down on the back here, and I also had to use my grinder to kind of cut that down and make a little bit more space right there. So yeah, certainly a lot of work. It will hit on the bottom right here, so I also drilled that out. There's 3 holes there from the factory just for like water drainage, but I added some more just for a little bit more. But yeah, satisfying. Yeah, no rubbing, nothing. This is working, this is working. You can see marks from my drill bit. I used this one from Harbor Freight. And then this one here, we got a little bit more torching and then scraping with a screwdriver. And we'll be able to get the threads on there. And yeah, once that bolt is on there, we'll be done with the fan thing. Aside from moving the fan controller, we'll just cable tie it to here and call it good. Yeah.
When you're installing the Mustang fan shroud with your Panther fan, you'll be able to use the passenger side bolt hole and the factory bolt to mount that side. However, on the driver's side, you have to get creative. Using a transmission cooler tie, which just stabs through the radiator, and you'll have 2 of those. So attach one to the top and one to the bottom.
Is that for your car?
Yeah, I think it goes somewhere like right here or something.
I thought it was like a piece to a bumper.
Nope.
Like, you know those really big, huge bumpers?
Yeah, right.
Install the provided airbox and use the cutout on the square base of the hood pad to line it up.
You should screw both of them.
I don't know where the other screw is. It might be inside. I'll go check. Might as well do it the right way.
While you're looking, I'm gonna go look for it.
Make sure you use both of the screws, as we will be mounting the power steering reservoir to this in a moment. There are 2 hoses that come with the power steering setup. One of them is for the high pressure line, and the other is a smaller one that goes to the overflow. The smaller line I left a little bit longer and wrapped around my ABS controller because of the direction of the outlet on the reservoir. I just didn't want to have a kinked hose. Use one of the factory rubber isolator mounts from the factory airbox and mount the power steering reservoir to the new airbox. Now the PCV part is super easy. So this hose right here is the factory PCV, and there's a factory PCV under there. So this connector just goes to it, boom. So you cut this like 3 inches up, and then you take this hose and then shove this PCV in the way. So you've got PCV, factory hose, hose clamp, big hose, other hose clamp. These don't match, I don't know why. Other PCV, and then you just have your smaller hose that goes into this adapter, goes into this larger hose, connects to where the PCV would have connected to in the first place. Now, on the driver's side over here, you'll have the factory connection right there. Oh, let's see if we go. So on the other side, this is the driver's side, you've got your factory PCV. You just strip the piece of plastic hose off of this connector right here with a razor, and then you'll connect this rubber hose. It goes underneath the intercooler pipe and then over and around to this little bung that goes into the intake tube. File down these edges for supercharger bracket clearance. Install the ribbed pulley that Vortec provided here that came with the supercharger. Swap this pulley with the one that looks the same but it's flipped, and hold on to this pulley, we'll need it later. Remove the factory pulley here and discard. We'll replace with this factory composite or plastic smooth idler. When installing the supercharger unit, make sure that you screw in all of the bolts as shown in the diagram provided with the instructions. There are a lot of details here, and that pulley that you removed earlier, we need to put it on here. There's a special way to do that, and one of the bolts cannot have a washer on it for clearance reasons. This part is really exciting, but make sure you take your time and do it the right way. Before you mount the supercharger unit, you'll want to make sure and run your belt as shown in the diagram in the instructions. Coming up shortly, we need to clock our supercharger unit to make sure the outlet is pointed in the right direction. In order to complete that, we need to make sure our intercooler piping is in the right spot. So let's get to mounting this intercooler.
There's some plastic shields behind the bumper, and I'll show you a video of that here. We need to go to Harbor Freight and get some cheap hole saws. It's just plastic, doesn't really matter. But for 15 bucks, I'm gonna go get a hole saw instead of trying to hack some crap up and having a looking whatever. I mean, this is a pretty big build, so at least for me. So no sense hacking anything up right now. We're back from Harbor Freight with our hole saw kit. Just a bunch of these little like drill bits that cut through like wood, plastic, and drywall. So should be good around the house too. Cool. Oh, and it comes in a little case. I love little cases like this because I can put this away and I don't have to worry about things like banging around or not fitting places. And also, all this like oil dry stuff that we laid down, we've been stomping all over it. I'm probably covered in it. And well, it's getting in my nose, so I grabbed some masks too. All right, so you can see we've got the hole saws right here. Essentially, you just put it on this drill bit and it spins and cuts your hole. So we're gonna cut a hole right here for our intercooler piping to go through using our hole saw. Perfect cut of plastic. There we go. Anybody want a cookie? Cool. Intercooler in. So we've got this guy right here that we're gonna have to pull down. We might actually cut a hole in it. I think that might actually be better. So we've got a whole room for the elbow, but I really want this tucked up in here. So maybe we can get away with not doing that. Well, all right, so now we got to go to the top and figure that out. But this guy right here, metal piece is in the way. And so we're gonna have to cut these holes a little lower. What we're working with here is these brackets that connect to that on the top right there, but these need to mount to something. So we've got this metal bar right here. You can probably drill a hole in and then just mount that right there, and that would be good. I think I'm going to jack the intercooler up so it like sits in its normal position and then drill the holes for this. I don't know how I'm gonna get in there with the drill. All right, so we got this trim piece off here. Let's go ahead and see if we'll be able to reach. Yeah, it'll be tight, but wow, that is so tight. This car was designed for this, holy cow. All right, so let's get our jack over here. We'll lift the intercooler up.
Start installing intercooler piping by working on mounting the first pipe, which goes from the supercharger unit to the intercooler. A little side note, you'll need to move the transmission lines just by hand to get it to fit in there, but it goes in pretty easy. This is where you'll want to figure out the rotation of the supercharger clocking. so you can secure that down and get the pipe tightened. Go ahead and install your blow-off valve here. It's easy if you rotate the wheels just a little bit, but you can't really fit any power tools in there, so take your time. This is a bit frustrating. Now we can set the final clocking of the supercharger and lock it down.
Welcome to Teamrocketgarage, ASMR in the thunderstorm version. Very peaceful. Mounted the intercooler, and we've mounted the first tube that goes from the blower to the intercooler. And then make sure everything's tight. Oh, love it. Ford Lightning is speaking to me.
I lost the last hour of footage, but it's easy enough to complete this. You'll simply take the one pipe from the intercooler to the engine bay. You'll use your band clamps to connect to the pipe that goes to the throttle body intake. Make sure you connect your mass airflow sensor that's provided as part of your ADTR kit and screw it into the intake tube. Then you'll add the filter tube to the front of the blower unit and install the other end inside of the airbox and secure it with the air filter. Once this is done, you can complete the driver's side PCV hose routing and reconnect your battery terminal cable. This will complete the install of the ADTR Supercharger Kit.
Stop, turn it off, stop. Alright, I heard it backfire, so we're just gonna, nope. We're gonna nope with that. That's a whole big nope. So we're gonna nope, and then we're not gonna, yep, so we'll nope. That's it for supercharging our 2011 Lincoln Towncar. Now, if you like this type of content, please, this video is incredibly long, takes a long time to make. This was about a 3-week process to create this video. So comment below, it helps the YouTube algorithm. Hit the like button, and then also go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you like stuff like this, you really should be watching. And if I haven't earned your subscribe, then tell me why. But as it stands right now, we're gonna go ahead and hop in this bad girl and take her for a spin, because she's got twice the wheel horsepower she came with from the factory. Thanks again for watching. This has been Teamrocketgarage on YouTube.